Hello, and welcome to the Hotline Live with Record Sport.
What are you going to say tonight?
Oh,
How delighted are you tonight?
Listen,
See, this is why I've told you before not to over-egg that pudding.
listen, I'm just, no offence, I'm grateful that it's no me and you tonight. Grateful we've got a buffer.
To be fair, I'm grateful it's just no use to you.
I think everyone watching us as well. Scott, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated for joining us in the flesh in the studio.
I thought I'd come through see sunny
Cup
Glasgow.
of tea and that?
No, coffee.
Of course it was.
I made it.
To be fair, Keith made me.
Aye.
Hey, by the way, Elon Musk,
I was waiting on this
what's
one.
going on?
Aye. Got to do other things when you retire, know what I mean?
Well, that's just
too much time on my hands.
Just for anybody that missed it, Bruni is now a media mogul, an internet impresario with your own broadband company. It's exciting news for you.
Me and my mate, we started up just over a year ago. So I've kind of been silent partners, and now we've got full-on business that's going really well. Future Connect Fibre, please subscribe.
There's the plug.
Great, there we go. Hi, well set up by the way. Key unbelievable speeds. See, for all the kids especially, know what? The
Gamers.
world's going that way.
Aye.
More gamers there is, the better it is for us.
Aye, absolutely. Aye.
Interesting wee side hustle though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a wee while ago, so short story, he was digging the streets for the broadband companies and understanding what to do and when to do it and how he wanted to really kind of go to the next level, so he understood everything about it, and we started talking and one thing led to another, and when we ended up setting up a company, we ended up getting decent business then, so it's been good so far.
Aye.
You know, they say money goes to money.
That's
It's
it,
just
you know?
brains, know what I mean? Never would have thought about that, haven't we?
I'm not sure. I have
No.
some technical questions here.
No, it's good.
But I'm not sure any of us around this table would understand it.
Sorry, Scott. I was asking if you can sit a wee bit closer to the
Sorry.
mic, sorry. What's it called again?
Future Connect Fibre.
Oh, back
There we go, well played.
There you go.
You want me to say it again?
That was scripted, that was like a set piece, wasn't
Dirty.
it? I was saying before we come on air, I put out for questions for you, Scott, on Record Sports social media channels, and it's like, this is your life. We've got some actually really good questions, to be fair.
Have we got some terrible ones as well?
Oh, of course, aye.
We're better asking the terrible ones. They're more enjoyable, but name and shame them as well.
Aye,
That's
that's
better that
a
way.
good point, aye. That's a very good point.
I'll ask the bad ones, you know that.
Aye, exactly.
Well, you usually write the bad ones, so you might as well write it.
But I'll tell you what, I will ask you something, because obviously just back from the Scotland trip there, really encouraging couple of games.
Yep.
Really excited about how this team's shaping up. Billy Gilmore, Ben Doak. I mean, when you're watching that, I think the worry for a lot of us really was, you know, when John McGinn's getting older and Andy Robertson's gone 30 and teams just getting a little bit. But these boys come in and they've refreshed the whole thing. You look at it and go, these guys could be there for 11, 12 years
Yeah.
around the Scotland setup. I mean, are you as excited by it as I am?
100%, yeah. I think the main thing is Steve's had a lot of injuries as well. So he's had to kind of go to the younger ones, and Billy's a fantastic player, you know what he's like.
brilliant.
Yeah, and Ben's
Top
just
notch,
been
isn't
something that we've probably been missing.
Aye.
Wee bit of pace, wee bit of directness, and he wants to score a goal, and it causes so many teams problems, because when you're under a little bit of pressure, it can drive you up the park, and it takes that pressure off you as
Gets you
well.
up the pitch,
And then you've got legs of Scotty, you've got John, you've got Ryan, you've got so many good players as well. So the good thing is you've got a lot of players coming back. You've got Tierney still to come back as well, who's been a huge miss for them as well, because his partnership with Robbo on that left side has been brilliant.
You forget how good Tierney is, really.
He's a Rolls Royce.
he's
It's just the injuries are just a shocker for
I
him.
know.
It's hard for him because obviously he's been injured and playing with Scotland as well, so he wants to obviously come back for games, and he's been a huge miss for them.
Aye.
What about, did you know we Doak at Celtic?
No, I was there just probably when he was coming in full time.
Right.
So it probably just
He came on in a
Missed each
Old Firm
other.
game, didn't he, under Ange? When he was
Aye, that
literally
was before.
16 or something, aye.
to be fair, you can see what a talent he is.
Aye.
You can see he's gone away, he's played, and he's taken his opportunity. And to be fair, what a player he's looking
What's the
so far.
chance we've got with him?
Yeah,
It's
you
brilliant.
look and you get excited watching him, don't you? He's small, he's got appetite, he wants to score goals, he wants to get in the box, he wants to go and show. And there's not a lot of young lads that are willing to go and do that.
I think you're right when you say that's the one player we're missing. Somebody can go and beat players and take players on.
I've not seen it in years in the
I
Scotland
know,
shirt.
I know.
A wee guy like that. I mean, I'm sitting in Zagreb. And we were at the far end of the pitch with the press box. And I was looking up and I'm going, is that It's Gladiola he's up against. All right, okay. So
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes, he doesn't get a sniff. And then after about 10, 15 minutes, he skins him for the first time. And for that minute on, he skins him every time. It's like Guardiola's looking. But the amazing thing for me was, okay, that one might catch him by surprise. He then comes to Hampden. First 10, 15 minutes, he's all over Ben Doak. He's physically trying to intimidate him.
Does it again.
Doak does it again, spins him, gets round the back of him and terrorises him for the rest of the match. Against a guy of that calibre.
I know.
That's why it's exciting.
It's good to have that confidence level as well.
Aye.
No matter who he's playing against, he probably trusts himself and his own ability as well, and thinks, you know what, I've got a good chance here, me v him. I've got my chance here, I've got my pace, I've got my wee bit of quality. And he gets his body so low when he's driving around, and it's hard for big, tall centre halves, full backs to get close to.
On Scotland, mention it, one of the questions we did have in. Does Scott look at Gilmore, Ferguson, McTominay? Wish he'd tried his luck on the continent? Was there ever a chance to go and play abroad?
There was, yeah. Had an opportunity to go to America, to go to Australia as well, but that was just kind of COVID time. I'm not sure how good my Italian would have been to be going with Scotty and Billy over.
I think you'd
to
have strode it
Napoli.
in Serie A. That would have been perfect for you, I think.
It's a bit too slow though. More aggressive and tackling, but no, it's good to watch. Like, even watching Italians playing back threes, they just love defending. Like, it's an art of its own. It's like proper. Know what? You're not beating me. They're doing a challenge, a block, and they're all celebrating. It's like they've scored a goal. So that's one good thing that I would have maybe learned as well.
It's interesting, but isn't it, when you see these boys going there and I guess it's a obviously it's a completely different experience for them, but they're going to benefit for that, aren't they, in terms of what they then
Going
deliver.
away from what they know as well.
Yeah.
Because you're learning different art, different managers. You're also having to pick up the lingo as well. But the first one that went over was Liam Henderson. Went over, done really, really well. Then Fergie's went, and Scotty and Billy's went. So Liam's still over there now.
He did well. He did really well at a few clubs, didn't he?
He's still there.
He's still there. That's what I mean. He did well.
But it's good for the Scottish lads as well, because you want to play against the best players. And they've got an opportunity to play against Juventus, Inter Milans and stuff like that, and then you never know where you end up as well.
Absolutely.
Is this as good a Scotland side as you can remember then, right now, with
I think
the kids that are coming into it and
strength
the
and
established
depth.
players?
I think we maybe miss another centre half.
Yeah.
And maybe a goal scorer.
I was going to say.
Like John's been unbelievable. Him and Scotty have been pulling us out a lot of games, and I think John scored 20 goals for Scotland now, which is incredible. What is
Above McCoist.
Has he ever played? Oh, brilliant. Wait till he sees Coisty. Wait till I see Coisty.
I think he mentioned it one or two times on social media.
I think he has mentioned it.
He really intends to.
I'll make sure I tell him that as well.
No, that is an incredible return, 20 goals for his country.
It's astonishing, right?
I went through a proper purple patch as well, but he just scores goals. He's got an art for it for Scotland.
Do you know what was good about it as well? I know nobody had a particularly good Euros, but John McGinn was one of the ones that you were really hoping for the Euros.
Tired,
and he looked tired. He didn't.
It's always hard at the end of the season as well to go there and dig deep, and especially when you're playing that many games with a rest as well.
It's class.
It's first name on the sheet for them and Villa as well.
Exactly.
So it is hard.
I've got tons of questions. I don't even know where to start.
The worst one. What's the worst one you found?
Well, actually, I don't know if this is the worst one really.
Name and shame.
Gabriel McGowan, right? That is his real name. Did Scott have a favourite Celtic kit? Did he care about what the kit looked like? I'm sure I spied him a bit embarrassed in a few of the photo shoots for the away ones. He's maybe referring to that. I liked the pink one. I thought the pink one was
Got out my eyes, didn't it?
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Aye.
Gabriel, what a terrible question. I loved every Celtic kit.
Aye, that's
the best answer possible.
Aye, exactly.
I like the Bumblebee one.
Aye,
that was quite good.
Aye.
I wasn't too sure about me and pink, but nah,
I quite like it. I honestly thought it was...
yeah, each their own.
Did you like the pink one, Keith? Is that?
I can't even remember the pink one.
All right, okay.
New Balance it was.
Aye, New Balance, aye.
I'm struggling to say that time you get no
It's
hair.
that age, ain't it?
Aye.
It's that age.
Getting on
Come into us all, pal. You're okay. You're here with friends.
That was before you went to Turkey to get the Barnet sorted.
It's all going grey now, though. 6 months in here and it's all going grey.
Can you come every day, Scott? That's great.
I am, honestly, I'm available.
Open and fun.
What about this one? Andy Rouse, who's the dirtiest and or nastiest player Brown come up against in his career.
Brown?
Oh,
Scott, he does say Scott Brown. Scott come up against in his career. Gattuso, perhaps he mentions.
I played against him at... Where did I play?
AC
Was it
Milan,
AC Milan?
Champions
Yeah.
League.
Was it Inter Milan? We played against Balotelli or AC Milan he was at.
He was at he was at both, wasn't
He was
he?
at
at one
both. I
point?
can't even remember what one it was, but it was at the San Siro, and he told me he was going to chop my head off.
Really?
Who, Balotelli?
Yeah, I was like, I looked at him, I was like, oh, he's maybe got this in his locker.
I can't rule this out.
And I pulled that T-shirt on saying, "Why always me, mate?"
That's bizarre, isn't it? Would you even reply to that? Is it
Was that
I
a
shot your head off.
I
To be fair, I was about a minute and a half late.
Right, okay.
He was a decent player back in the day.
So you decked him?
No, I tried.
Right, okay.
I'm sure I tried to absolutely munch him, but he ended up running through it as well. And then after it, he stood up and just says it, and I was like, "Oh, is it?
Big strong boy, you know.
I hope this flight's straight after this game."
I think I once tried to tackle him in the mix zone after a European game, and I didn't get much joy there either.
Yeah.
He wasn't a great communicator.
The one thing that we do need to touch on, we're in the right sort of ballpark. David Ferry's asking, surely to goodness, Scott Brown would batter Nacho Nova in a celebrity boxing match.
Oh, have you heard
I
that?
don't know if you've seen this today.
Wee Nacho's
He's
called
called
you out.
you out.
Called me out.
He's
the
called
wee
you out.
tiny guy.
That's him, right?
Hey, my friend, eh? I wouldn't even need to turn up. You know,
can-
make it UFC.
I can read you his
I
quotes. if
don't
you want.
mind a wee choke out.
What is it?
Maybe quotes, what does he say?
He says here,
Nacho Novo.
any footballers you like to get in the ring with? Scott Brown, I have in my back pocket all the time anyway. No, Scott is a good player. I met him a couple of times for dinner. On the pitch, he's like me, he just wants to win. He's a winner and wants to play his best. He had a great career and he was a great player.
Oh, cheers, Nacho. It's nice at the end.
Aye.
Came me to start with.
The
and
back
thought,
What, to batter him?
oh, but he's actually a no bad guy.
The back pocket bit was a bit, but aye. Can we see that anytime soon? I'd pay for that.
I'm not sure I want to batter Nacho Novo because there's not going to be.
No fair fight.
No, it's not great that.
There you go, Nacho, take that. I would. You pay to see that in paper, wouldn't you?
Nacho.
Sure
Why does he want to fight people? Anyway, what's
I
he
know,
doing?
that's what-
He has taken up boxing and all that.
Is he?
Aye.
I think he's done it to sort of keep
2 or
fit.
3 days or something.
No. Was he not supposed to have a fight on YouTube?
Aye,
or
with
something?
influencer or something.
I don't think
I'm
that.
not sure I'm an
I think hold off,
influencer.
so he's focused in Scotland.
Is he? Trying to hit the old guy.
Right, we've had tons of questions in it, as you can imagine, for Celtic fans. I'm actually flying through these, I thought I had too many. This one from Dan McGowan, asks, when Brendan arrived in 2016, Celtic had just lost the Scottish Cup semi to Rangers. Scott endured injury problems. But what did Brendan Rodgers do to get him playing the best football of his entire career?
I think it was more just understanding where we were going. And I went and met Brendan down in London, and it was brilliant because he gave us an understanding how he wants to play, what he wanted and what he expected from each individual as well. So there was obviously a shape when we had the ball and a shape without the ball as well. So it was good to learn kind of a different side from a manager as well that took time to come and speak to you about how he wanted you to react with the lads. But obviously I did have a couple of injuries at the time. I just ruptured my hammy as well when Brendan came in. In his first game I played left wing. So when he came on in a pre-season friendly, I was like, I'm not sure I'm that wee tricky winger. But then it was just to get my minutes back on the park. So no, and it was like body fats, your diet, how you looked about the place and how you acted as well. So social media was a huge one for him and how everyone made sure they were
Aye.
like on key, nothing messed up, no drinks, no nothing, no parties. It was like you had to make sure you lived your life proper. To be fair, we all did actually.
Aye.
We were actually really good.
You really enjoyed that though period, didn't you? Because it did feel.
It was like a fresh start for
Aye.
me. It was like probably something that I needed at the right time, and Brendan was inch perfect with me. He was brilliant, and I really enjoyed the training sessions. What he done was he had a drive, and he wanted you to be better. He actually made sure that you challenged yourself.
Is he far and away the best coach you played under?
Like, he's unbelievable.
Aye.
Yeah. So like, I still speak to him. I still speak to Lenny. I still speak to Gordon. And the
They're
three
all
of
good
them.
managers. That sounded like I was being a bit.
No, but the three of them have all
detrimental
got different
Aye.
like understands of how they want to play.
Aye.
As in managers, as in personalities as well. So it's great to like try and steal as much information as he possibly can. But Brendan was brilliant how he taken me there. And I didn't know him, but obviously knew who he was. But
Aye.
never spoke to him, and he was brilliant on the phone. Went down to his house and couldn't be any nicer. And for me, it was like he's taking time away from his holidays away to make sure he's organised, make sure I've got his back as well. And
Aye.
to be fair, and I'd never say a bad word about his training sessions, anything. They were unbelievable. Everything he'd done, he had a drive.
Aye.
There was a purpose behind whatever he wanted and why he wanted you to do it. So you can see now the lads are
Aye.
buzzing, they're delighted, and
Aye.
I know obviously everyone loved Ange, which quite rightly so, but then they all doubted Brendan as soon as he
This
came
time
back
last
in.
year, aye. Mad.
There was no doubt, never in my mind, that Brendan was going to be unbelievable.
He was always the right man for the job, wasn't he?
Yeah,
It was a
perfect.
no-brainer.
Yeah, it was so an easy fit, and it just came right back in. And he understands Celtic. He knows what the lads are like, and he had Cal and Jamesy and people like
Aye.
that before, so he knew the ones that he can go to and go, right, this is what I want. This is what I expect.
Do you not feel like he's almost polished Ange's style a bit?
I was going to say, Brendan wouldn't appreciate this, but there is an element of he has taken a little bit of Angie's sort of template.
Yeah, he's got some of his players still. And
It's a mix. It's like a mix between the two a little bit.
Yeah.
Different style.
Yeah,
From the
similar,
last
and yeah, there's a lot of similarities as well. But hey, the thing is, if something's working, continue doing it,
Aye.
and that's what he done. And then he made it better and make it better again. And you can see them in the Champions League. They look like they
A
deserve to
proper
be there.
Champions League team, right?
Don't get me wrong, I obviously know the big result that they
Aye.
had, but going away to Atlanta, getting a 0-0 and knowing there was a different way and means to play the game as well,
Aye.
and then coming back at home, getting the result and the performance levels that they did as well was exceptional.
Do you miss that? Do you miss the Champions League nights and stuff?
To be fair, I've been at them. Been all right.
Get a gig in the TV.
Me and Larry, it's been great.
Do you know what I noticed though in the last one, the Leipzig game? We were talking about maybe just nicking a little bit of what Ange did. And you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I noticed that Greg Taylor was coming in from fullback, inverted, going into midfield, and I was sitting beside Cal Mack and just giving them extra bodies. And I just thought, because he learned that sort of position under Ange Postecoglou, I think Brendan's very cleverly realised he can go in there. That makes you almost go to a back three, and you've got an extra body in midfield, and I think it really tightens Celtic up.
We've done that a wee bit with Brendan before,
Right.
inverted fullbacks and stuff like that, and for us it worked brilliant. Then we had Lusto sit back and we had KT playing as a winger as well, so we jumped in and out, and it was not one shape that we used continuously. It chopped and changed depending on who you were playing. But the thing is, when you've got Maeda and Kyogo, you've got unbelievable pace as well. You've got Kudner, you've got James to come on, so you've got pace, quality, and goals.
See, we were saying the other day, January, where would Celtic strengthen? There's no area that you go, do you know, they need to strengthen there?
No, I'm not really sure.
You've
there's
listed
an-
those
there's an
players there.
area.
Aye, there's,
Especially the signings they brought in as well.
aye, aye.
Engels looks like he's going to turn into a good player as well. So it's good. And you've got Trusty there as well.
Aye.
That's obviously came in
Starting to
and
look
big personality and big player.
Tell you, and I don't, obviously, because I've just been talking about Greg Taylor, and I think he's done a brilliant job for Celtic, but still not ruling out Kieran Tierney.
The wee man. To be fair, he's at Arsenal now, and he's obviously wants to go back and play games. So it's up to him what he does and where he goes. But hey, if he was ever to come back, it would be unbelievable. But for me, I think he's got to focus on Arsenal and get back into that team, because they're a fantastic team as well. And you never know, you can go win the Premier League with them. So
I think he was a bit harshly treated at Arsenal, I thought. He was
I
just
think
kind of
all the
bombing out.
fans in that love him.
Aye.
I mean, they were talking about it as a future captain.
Aye.
Yeah.
When
And
he first got into the team, they loved him.
He's still only 27. I'd
Oh,
like
he's
to see
fantastic.
him do something like win the Premier League, because he's that. I honestly think, I've said this before, when he's fully fit and Rob's, we've got two of the best left backs in the world.
Yeah.
But but Arteta wanted something different, didn't he? With Zinchenko.
Aye.
Then Zinchenko's not playing now.
Aye,
I
no,
know.
so, I know.
It's mental. So
Uh-huh.
they go through wee times, but I'm sure the wee man will fight.
Aye.
Like, make sure he gets back into that team. And the best thing about him is his drive forward, his pace, his quality, his desire to get forward. And it is so hard to beat on a 1v1.
And he's got end product when he does get forward. His delivery into the box is top class, isn't it?
He's by far one of the best players I've ever played with. Him and Rodgers, like top. The two of them. There's like KT was just a Rolls Royce. He just kept going, got
Aye.
better and better, and that was when he was really young as well. So I can imagine how good he is now.
Aye. That's a fair point. We're going to my next question. This is
Go
your
on.
life. This one, I was actually quite intrigued to hear your answer. This one's got Jackie asks, would Scott trade one of his domestic trebles in exchange for a run to a European final, potentially winning a European trophy for Celtic?
Potentially,
Get into a final and then you might win it.
you might. Nah.
You wouldn't swap it, no?
No, I wouldn't change anything that I've done.
No.
No, I really enjoyed my time and playing, and what I won, I'm more than happy with. And what we've done in Europe, we just weren't good enough. So,
Still had some amazing nights in Europe.
I had some great results
Aye.
and stuff like that, but like we're never really good enough to go and win it, if I'm honest. And for us, what we've done in the league, that was our bread and butter, and I would rather win the league than win European Cup.
Fair enough.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. League first, European Cup second. If I had a chance to
Somebody
win
said
both,
Champions League.
nah, you got to win the league. Got to win the bragging rights. I was all about having those bragging rights,
Aye.
and I loved having those bragging rights, and we've done all right with it.
Speaking of bragging rights, Phil McGee asks, was there a post-match drink between the managers when Scott's Fleetwood Town side took on Joey Barton's Bristol Rovers?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, right? It was brilliant, right? Because everyone was making up to this big, massive thing, right? And Joey couldn't be any nicer.
Oh, was it? Aye.
It was brilliant.
Aye.
It was really, really good. The two of us, tell you a story, two of us ended up sitting in we went to his room, and afterwards, so we're all sitting in there, me, Whits, and all the other ones as well, his coaching staff, and obviously our chairman, we got a late result, we scored 2-2 away from home, and I think Rooney scored in the 97th minute, right? It was supposed to be 5 minutes added time. Joey gets sent off and he's walking around and Rooney scores a header, right? So we're all celebrating in his room afterwards, and our chairman's like knocked on his door. Obviously he sacked Joey, right? So like, I was like, oh, what way is this gonna go?
Aye.
And Joey's like, come on in, chairman, in you come. His assistant manager turned the lights off. I'm like, let's get up. And you should have heard him. He's like, oh! He's like panicking against the door. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was unbelievable. But no, he was actually brand new. Like, even after we played them at Fleetwood as well, like, we ended up sitting back for about 2 hours afterwards, chatting, having a beer and stuff like that. So no, it was actually good.
Do you think a lot of his bravado, it's like an act almost, like you get him alone, he's actually just quite
Bruno, you know yourself. That's common practice.
Aye.
A lot of, I mean, you created your own sort of image yourself. Ballers do it. Be natural. Over another one.
You can be who you want for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It is. You can be
Completely
a
different people walk the pitch.
Aye.
But you play to win. You have to win, because see if you didn't win, you're not good enough to play in the jersey. You don't own the jersey. You have to own the jersey. You have to own the fans. Well, not own the fans, but make sure that they deserve your proper input in every single game, every session, and that you've got to try and be the best you can be. And to be fair, and see, the longer your career goes on, the more you notice that as well.
Mo Sislak, watching live on YouTube, says, "Aye, right, Scott, you'd have loved to have been to a European final. He's not having it."
Aye, went to the Champions League final, if that helps.
Oh,
Went and
right.
watched it.
And Anne Wood asks, would you have liked to have captained and played in this current team?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting, especially the pace up top and the goals. And I would have liked to have worked with Ange, if I'm honest. And I worked with Brendan, I had the luxury to work with him. So I'd have maybe, hindsight, stayed another year and worked with Brendan, but I'd already made up in my mind that I was leaving. So once my head makes a decision, it always sticks by it. And whether it was right or wrong, I went for it, and I got the opportunity, obviously, to become a manager from that opportunity.
That would have been interesting, you under Ange, actually.
I probably wouldn't have played as much, and I understood that side of it, but I'd have liked to have seen what his training sessions were like and what he was like day to day as well, because to be fair on him, he accepted me down to Tottenham.
All right,
So we phoned him up to see if I would be able to get in, and Chris Davis was down there at the time, and he asked Ange, and he was like, yeah, and you come. So I went down for 3 days and seen what he was like as a person and what he was like the training sessions and that. It was impressive.
What is he like as a person?
He's quite
Aloof?
Yeah, he's quite chilled. He stays away, he watches from the distance, and everything he takes, writes little notes, goes back into his room, and he's in there, but like what he expects is respect from everybody, hard work, but also to buy into what he wants them to do and tell you what everyone really does, and he speaks really, really passionate and really well about it as well.
I would love to. I mean, this might shock you. I'm not actually a manager, but I'd love to go down and watch managers, and see when I hear people go and visit. That'd be class. Just you literally just go and watch for 3, take notes.
Yeah, I went there. I went Davy Moyes as well.
All right.
So it was good, and then went into Leeds and went into another couple of clubs as well. So for me, when I was kind of in between jobs at the time, so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Might as well go and learn. And like speaking to Davy Moyes, and I obviously knew Davy from being down in Liverpool and stuff like that. So I had the luxury to go in and speak to him and watch him train as well. And it was brilliant to get the insight of Premier League clubs and what they expect and what we expected at Celtic as well, and kind of compare as well.
What about this one?
How does the training grounds and all that compare?
West Ham,
Top.
No,
wrong.
struggling. Spurs, unbelievable. Like Spurs, Leicester was supposed to be unbelievable as well,
but I never got to Leicester's. But that's supposed to be a joke as well as what Spurs was. But Spurs, I was walking going, when do the pitches end?
Really, aye?
But the building, honestly,
Aye.
I've not seen like hotels this size. It was just, everything was
That-
inch perfect
That
as well.
stadium they've got as well, yeah.
Stadium's great.
It
Isn't it?
might be
done-
one of the best in the world, probably.
It probably is,
Aye.
if you're looking at it.
Aye. What about this one? Neil Murphy. Did Scott ever come close to leaving Celtic during his peak years at the club? There must have been interest from down south.
Neil, good question.
Thanks, Neil.
Aye. Had the opportunity to go to Newcastle and Spurs, and the one at Spurs was first or second year when I was at Celtic. I think I got Player of the Year, can't remember.
Was it 08 or 09 or something like
It
that?
would have
Aye.
been one of them. And Harry Redknapp,
He'd have been manager there.
obviously he was the manager at the time, and spoke and that they had the opportunity to go down, but nothing really properly came of it. Then the Newcastle one was full on and got an offer and everything. Then Lenny's got the job, and having that respect for Lenny and what he helped me when we were coming through and how good he was under Gordon as well. And I was never really wanted to go anywhere, but I had that kind of, if you can go down to England, you can go and play. And hindsight, it could have went down and played in England, it could have went really well, or it could have went another way. So you never really know. But as I say, I never look back and go, I wish I would have done that, because I really don't. I enjoyed my time, and I think I made the right decisions at the right time.
There was a moment though, wasn't there?
There's a few moments.
I'm thinking of this.
Tony Mowbray.
Tony Mowbray.
Oh, shock. Yeah,
Aye.
I would have left. I think his assistant as well. No Vino. But at that time we weren't really great. Nobody was really enjoying the team and being part of it and stuff like that, and it was hard. And what's his name? I can't remember his first choice, but he came in the press and says that he would happily drive me down wherever he wanted.
Really?
And I was like, all right, aye. So
Why? We've talked about this briefly earlier on. Why would he go his way to do that to Tony's? I mean, that just seems.
Initially, you were told, weren't you, before the Christmas period, that
I
you
can
should
go
find
and find
yourself a new
myself
club
a
in
new
January.
club. So it was one of those ones. I was like, right. No, when somebody says it to you, like, can I go home? You're like, did I go and find myself a new club, or did I just like stick down and go and
I'll be here
give it a
longer than
go?
him. Aye.
And to be fair, I was longer than what he was. I missed the last part of obviously Tony being there, and due to injury and stuff like that, and it was one of those things. And he obviously wanted better players in at the time and thought he could get better players in, and we weren't on a good run, and they were going to play St Mirren, and I think I was 4 weeks with injury and stuff like that, so they went a few games and got beat, and then that was
Was that not the 4-0 game?
Yeah.
And
That
did you not
was the
play
one,
right back or something? Did you play right
No,
back?
Aiden played left back. I was injured. I was watching it in the house going,
Oh, were you?
And then the next day, so I went to go in and I got a speeding ticket. So I ended
No,
up
great
getting pulled to court, and I didn't even know what was happening. So I was at court doing, obviously, I wasn't speeding. I was doing
of course, aye.
71 mile an hour
Aye.
at the time. So ends up cameras and all that starts running at me. I'm going, it's not that bad. And I'm like, Tony got sacked. What do you say? And I'm like, I'm off ski. I was like straight out of there early doors.
But the weirdest thing, right? And you talk about moments of fate and, you know, how divine intervention, whatever. Tony Mowbray tells you in December, you're out. The story comes out, I think I might have written the story.
Another one.
A few weeks later. Aye, but you remember what Celtic did? They got you to put out a statement, forced you to sign a statement basically saying the story wasn't true. And then, on the back of all that, when you come back, Kilmarnock away, it was Robbie Keane's first game.
Yeah.
That was when you get the armband, and it was almost as if like, just that story wasn't right.
I think they offered Robbie the armband. And I think, to be fair on Robbie was like, look, I'm here on loan.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I didn't really
Well, that's quite right,
want
isn't
to take the armband. So I think I was like, when you look at it at that time, probably most Celtic fans and even the staff at the club at the time were thinking, we can't have Scotty being captain because he doesn't know what the hell's happening to him and who he is half the time. So I get that side of it and all that. And
But that's the moment that changes everything.
it changed like me as well, as I think as a person, because you start to get that responsibility for like, now you've got to go, like you're leading these, you've got to go into a team, like a huddle. I'm no shy, I've never been shy, right? It's no a thing for me. But see standing in a huddle with 60,000 people and they're all looking at you going, what are you going to say? I'm like, I have no idea. But then, to be fair, the more it goes on, right, we had quite a lot of foreigners coming as well. So I'm probably speaking and they've not got a clue what I'm saying anyway.
Just nodding.
I don't know, like smiling at me and like, like even Moosas and all that were like going, Scott, we can't understand you. Yeah, it's all right. There's 60,000 people. We're all right. So, plus, I speak at 100 miles an hour as well. So when you speak to them, you've got to try and slow down the foreigners and hopefully. But in that, you obviously in game mode, everything's ready and I'm raring to go. I'm about 7 coffees deep, and that's me. I'm spot on.
And what did you say in the huddle?
What happens in the huddle always stays in the huddle. You know what I mean? That'll go to my deathbed with me. Some of them are obviously really good. Some of them obviously really crap.
Some of them Churchillian, some of them you want to forget about.
What you mentioned, Robbie Keane there. I mean,
what a player, by the way.
I was going to say, like,
Unbelievable.
In terms of, I know he's only there 6 months, but in terms of just raw talent,
Know what you've seen, right? You've seen the difference in the quality
aye.
that we had at the time. And like Robbie's came in and he's like sharp. He's like wants to score. Like does it? It just he got annoyed when he didn't score goals. But he was never quick, as in like over 10 yards. But he was so sharp over 3 or 4 yards.
He's thought quick.
And his first touch was exceptional. And it was just that little movement. It was just a check of the shoulder or a movement. It was like just 5 men behind.
Aye.
The amount of times you just went, there you go. And he was already on the front foot.
I think I'm right in saying he was 28, that was peak Robbie Keane.
Oh yeah, that was unbelievable. It was great to play with and see about the place as well. You're like, this guy's coming and he's been into Milan, he's been Tottenham, Liverpool, he's coming to us. And we were struggling at the time. You're like, here we go. And he just taken us to a different level. And it was brilliant to play with him because you got seen what he was like day to day, whether it was training, whether it was in games, whether it was away from it all as well. And he was just brilliant at everything that he done.
Is your computer crashed?
My computer's crashed there, aye. We had one more question I was going to ask you was, and I can't remember.
Are you
who
just
it
going to
was.
make this up? Fair play.
The question is there. It was
Question from Daniel Cole.
live in the studio. What is the one victory that you savoured most, that you enjoyed most in your career? Was there one match that you went up the road and went, that was the one?
I'd say overjoy.
Really?
Aye, because there was a lot of talk.
Aye.
And it was in the back of my mind, just shut up, Scott, and didn't say a single word, and just do your talking on the pitch.
I think I can speak. Well, Celtic fans will love that men against boys thing after the game.
It was already in my head. Everything that I was going to do that day came off.
Aye.
And it was all the bounce balls. I won everyone.
Aye.
It was all the aerial challenges. I won it. I ran more than him. I got more
Could you
touches.
tell that he was sick? You know that way.
To be
you know
fair
you're
on him,
sick
right?
of somebody when you're...
When after the game he shook my hand, and I think if that's me, and you've just been absolutely annihilated 5-1, I'm doing that tunnel and I'm punching walls and that. He was like, right, well done. Obviously realised that he's talked the talk and I walked the walk on the pitch.
Didn't back it up.
So that was the one I really enjoyed at the time. And then when we kind of met each other, I was thinking, I wonder if we're going to bring this up here.
And did you?
Of course.
It took about 30 seconds.
Do you remember the game?
Do you know what? I had some... And you've had some...
Let's keep talking, right, until the computer...
Until the computer
some career highlights, plenty of them. Do you know one of the funniest ones? One that I remember was up at Pittodrie, where I think 3 of them tried to wipe you out.
Aye, of course.
Big Cosgrove. First game.
And then you get up and start doing the walk and all that. I just thought that's peak Bruni.
Wee Logan.
Just mental.
Is it
Shea Logan?
I kicked the ball when I was doing facing the other way. Hard man, him.
It was Ross Stewart who wrote in with that question. There you go.
Rod Stewart. All right, Rod.
Ross
You tuning in as well?
By the way, that's another thing. So you get the Brendan tour in London.
Yes.
Did you never get to Mallorca? Did they not take you to the Mallorcan villa?
Yes.
Got there as well. Oh, well, there you go. Well travelled.
All right, my things.
What about you mentioned some of the players I played with, but the players you come up against, I was looking at some of the photos in our photo bank earlier. Pirlo, Xavi, Iniesta. Who was the one? Was there any one of them that stood out for you? Like
Pirlo.
Was it Pirlo?
Pirlo and Iniesta. I really struggled against Iniesta as like understanding what he was doing, because every time he got the ball, he just sprinted at you. And his first touch was going forward, and usually lads like what manipulate the ball, and his was just coming straight after you. And I was like, oh, he's tiny. I'm going to munch him. And he was just so sharp and elegant on the ball. Can go both ways.
They would play him left wing sometimes, wouldn't they?
I just drop in, yeah. But to be fair, their team was a joke at the time. They had obviously Biscuit, Xavi, him.
Maybe the best team ever.
I'd probably say so. Suarez, you had Messi, obviously. He was all right as well. But like every game we played, I thought Iniesta was better than him. Don't get me wrong, Messi had special moments that nobody else can recreate. But Iniesta, as in making sure the game ticked over, him and Busquets and Xavi were a different world.
Aye.
That was a Ronaldinho team as well, wasn't it?
He was a joke. I ran into him and it was like running into a brick wall.
Aye.
He was like solid, like we step over and just played with a smile on his face.
That was the one.
He was taking the absolute mick at you and smiling. Where you go? Me Scottish guy with a bald head. How was it last night?
Well, did you say that? I remember in the hotel, because covering the game, the away game in Barcelona, and I'm sure Scott McDonald phoned me looking for a pair of jeans. Because all you boys had was your tracksuits, and Ronaldinho was taking you out to a nightclub, and
it was not
was
bad.
it not sneaking out the back door of the hotel and all that?
It was straight out the back door of the hotel. And to be fair, we were unlucky that game as well. So I think, let's say it was 2-1.
3-2 maybe?
3-2.
Was that the one Barry Robson scored?
No, it was the
that
one
before?
that Caldwell put smashed Messi. And Messi ended up going off with oxygen. That was like a proper bad tackle. Great tackle, but bad tackle at the time. Because we were like, yes, that's helped. But I forgot they had 10 other world-class players as well at the time. And then we ended up going out and it was Evander Snow.
Right.
His brother and Ronaldinho were out all the time together or something like that. So he was like, oh, we'll take you to this nightclub. And Ronaldinho says, come in, it's no worries. So we're like, aye, sure. So we've ended up walking in, straight into Ronaldinho, Deco, and a couple of the other lads. They're like, yeah, come on. I was like,
He's all got the Celtic trackies on.
nah, we managed to find some stuff. So we've ended up like going and like we're sitting there and you've got all their agents and all that chatting away to you, and I'm like, oh, give myself a move. Here's lads, I'll be 5 minutes. But no, it was unbelievable to be fair. And like after the game, they were all like, yeah, come, it's no problem.
Am I not right in saying that Ronaldinho tried to get you on his speedboat to go to Ibiza for an after party as well?
It was some sort of boat to go somewhere, and I was
Surely
like,
that's a moment in life you just need to,
You just need to go with it.
I know you say you don't regret anything, but that's
maybe one thing that I didn't regret anything as in footballer.
I got you. Aye.
But when you look back, you're thinking,
Ronaldinho's after party.
could you imagine me and him on a speedboat at 5:30 in the morning? It's no ending well, that. And to be fair, I've made some bad decisions, but I've made some really good, and I think that's maybe a good decision that I made.
To be fair, probably is.
I think there was a fear that people weren't going to catch the flight home the next day and all
I
that.
know, 100%.
That wasn't going to happen.
To be fair, it was an afternoon flight, so we're all right.
You're all right. I'm officially out of questions.
You're out of questions.
I mean,
even rubbish ones.
well, there is they are really rubbish. I mean,
Well, I've got a question.
go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Obviously, we're forgetting the fact here that you're currently at Ayr United. It's been quite a start to the season when you got offered the St Johnstone job. How excited are you about the coaching career just now and what you think is achievable at Ayr United? Because a lot of people would look, I've seen this with other guys with big names, with big careers, and they kind of think their entry level should be up there. But you've kind of gone a different road here at Ayr United.
No, I went for
What is the potential?
obviously going down the road to Fleetwood, and we've went because training facilities were unbelievable, and we thought it's a good starting spot for us. It's League One, make sure we keep them, and they struggled really badly the season just before there. They managed to stay up in the last day of the last game of the season. So we went down. Chairman was brilliant, to be fair, with us, and going down, I was like, oh yeah. So I was almost ready to take a job in Scotland, and they've offered me the job.
Before Fleetwood?
Yeah.
What was the Scottish job?
Tell you one day. So ended up going down and obviously speaking to the CEO. Chairman's in Dubai, so he's phoned us going, right, want you to take the job. And I was like, right, so how do I go about telling this other club that I'm not coming now? So I was like, oh Jesus. So I obviously had to phone their chairman, say, look, going down there, got a good budget, got a fantastic training facility, and it's what we kind of, it's away from Scotland.
Aye.
It's something that I've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Wits are like, the two of us, right, go down, let's see how it's like. Walk down, going, training facility, unbelievable, 12 million quid, brand new, chairman.
Stunning, isn't it?
Oh,
amazing.
like, going down, you're
Clubs
going,
at that level.
League One, you're going. But then you've got like other clubs, like obviously in League One, that's got nothing prepared to that.
Porta
Like,
cabin in a public park.
yeah, we're like, this is brilliant. So first season, it was like, we just want to make sure we're in the league, we stay. And we actually had done really, we started a bit sloppy to start with, but then as the season went on, we ended up finishing 12th or 13th in the league, got them to the 5th round of the FA Cup.
Cup.
They've never
Nice,
been
yeah.
there before, and
Yeah.
it was great for us because the whole place was buzzing and like around about and all that. And then obviously chairman goes to jail for 13 years, gets done for
That always puts a damper on
gets
things.
done
like
for
that.
fraud.
Aye,
Awkward.
aye.
So it was one of those ones. Like we should really have read into the terms and
Done a bit of due
conditions.
diligence
Here we go, but we didn't really. And it was obviously mind over matter that we kind of right. We're going here. That's it. It's already gone. So you start to lose players. You start to lose budget. You're like, where are we going here with this? And to be fair, we lasted 6 games in the next season, and it was never going to get any better for the club due to what happened with the chairman, because he was a big personality and he was really, really good. And the people that came in struggled, as in having the same desire and same willingness to go and get players and do that. So it was one of those ones you take on the chin. You got. There's no much more we can do. We got sacked after 6 games of the season, so we taken some time out, relaxed, and then Whits phoned me. I want to say I was maybe on holiday. I was playing golf or just chilling.
Chances are you would have been on holiday or playing golf.
Aye,
One
that's-
of the two.
That was pretty much the only 2 things that I really do really good, by the way.
It's confirmed he's more holidays than Lynn Polly.
He's away for a week next week again. Eh?
Judith Charlo.
Exactly.
So obviously Whits knows Graham Maffey from being at Hibs. Graham's phoned Whits or vice versa. I don't know what it was saying. Oh, you want to come and have an interview, and I was like, right, let's start having a wee look at Ayr and personnel, player wise. Spoke to the chairman, got a wee bit excited, and I was like, done this before. I was like, no. I was like, we need to find out inch perfect
Aye.
backgrounds, X, Y,
Everything.
Z, what we need
Proper
to
due
do,
diligence.
what we need, and he was like, no, I agree. So we done that, and honestly, couldn't get a better chairman. He's
Can
unbelievable.
tell you've got a good relationship.
He's so good, and even when you get the opportunity to go and speak to another club, he was like, I think you should go and do it. He was like, go and speak and come back and tell me what you think. And he was just brilliant.
Just a good guy.
Yeah, and it's not just Ayr, it's a person as well, and we've got a really good relationship. He comes in, sits, and we just talk, and it's not always about, I'm your boss, this is what we want, this is what we expect, this is where we're going to go. It's like just in general, what's happening, what's been happening this week, how's the lads? And he actually cares about the lads, which is unbelievable. So to have that relationship with our chairman and with Graham as well, and myself and Whits, it just flows so easy as well, and there's no conflict. It's no like somebody stabbing you in the back to try and get up here, because there's no enough of us.
Exactly. Aye.
There's about 7 people, and we all work really well together, and we are like, all the staff's brilliant since we've came in, and I think probably most of them work about 65 hours a week, and it's unbelievable how
Aye.
this week
Aye.
or next week,
Aye. Aye.
if you had all that together for a month, you might just pick the 6 to 5 hours.
Aye, that's it.
But no, it's been really enjoyable, and don't get me wrong, the weather's a wee bit different. It's
Aye.
wild, it's windy, but they've got a wee drive, they've got a buzz about going somewhere, we've got a new stand, and the chairman kind of backs us as well.
Clearly the dream is Premier League.
That's always the dream is the Premier League for everyone, but
Premiership.
Premiership, there you go. You're old, eh?
Yeah.
So I was a game with your drum going, I remember that. Should have played, didn't it?
Top 10.
Oh, Jesus.
2 points for a win.
Oh, no, but like, what a goal places, what a push. We know we've not got the best budget in the world, but we've got a really good bunch of lads that we want to kind of.
It looks realistic this season.
Aye,
A
no,
realistic
aye.
aim.
If you're looking to see who's going to win the league, right, you look at Falkirk now and you see Falkirk, really good team, they've got a good manager and that. But at the end of the day, anyone can beat anyone in this league. And as you've seen at the weekend, Falkirk just lost to Livy.
Aye.
So it literally is one of those leagues, and it's probably the tightest that it's going to be for a long, long time, because you expect Dundee United to win
There's
it.
no clear front runner.
Their
Aye.
budget was over
Yeah.
£3 million.
Aye.
I wouldn't say anyone's budget's humongous compared to anyone else's. So we're all competing for the same players. It's just who talks the most.
Do you know? I think it's really unfair, the promotion system in the Championship.
Of course,
It's
it's
really-
it's skewed against the Championship and for the sides at the bottom of the.
But it's
Premiership.
so barefaced. Like it's out that, you know,
Aye,
they're
it's
not even
ridiculous.
not even transparent about it. It's just we're going to just try to keep you down.
Aye. And by the way, you're going to have to play 8 games in 4 days.
Exactly.
Yeah,
very
that is a hard one as well, but it's hard for the lads as well.
Aye.
Because our lads, it was a couple of years ago, they finished second in the league, and then they've ended up playing for an extra, 3.5 weeks?
Aye. Holidays
then-
all up
Aye, it
there.
would be,
And then obviously the League Cup starts
aye,
like really, really early.
Aye.
The lads got like 12 days off.
aye.
And it's not that they get paid Man City wages to go and get
No.
12 days off. They've got families. They need to go on holiday. They need to make sure they've got time to watch their kids, take them to nursery and do stuff. So the lads need that time off to kind of go away for football and forget about it for a couple of weeks, which this year we were lucky enough. We got 5-6 weeks off. So they've managed to do that, recharge themselves, and they've came back in a fantastic place.
She's a manager, sorry. This is I think that's a bit of a rubbish question, but
You were a manager for 2 games, you took us. Come on, manager to manager, what you say?
Signed Kevin Kyle.
that's for another story. That's another story one day. Aye, as a manager, do
Well,
you
that's your credentials undermined right away, by the way. If that was your star signing.
do you sit and go, right, I want to be Scotland manager or ex-manager? Nah, you don't, do you?
Nah,
You just
I just kind of go with the flow.
season by season?
Nah, game by game.
Yeah, game by game. Aye.
Our main focus now is Dunfermline at the weekend.
Aye.
Don't really care too far ahead, because if we lose that game, then you become like more driven against the next one. You win that one, the lads are in a fantastic place.
Aye.
They go towards it, and winning football games is the best thing in the world. And if you can't play in them, you can manage them. That's the next best thing for myself and Stephen.
We're
You
actually
should let him go, shouldn't
we're
you?
keeping Scott from
Tam Cowan.
certain Tam
Tam
Cowan.
Tam, that's all right. Tam was an hour and a half late for me last time,
Aye,
so
there you go. Aye,
we'll leave him.
aye, exactly. No, I think we've taken it up far too much of Scott's time as it is. But thank you very much for joining us, Scott.
No worries,
We
much appreciated.
thoroughly enjoyed it. Try and get you back before the end of the season. That'd be wonderful.
No problem.
Before the players.
Thanks for all the comments at home. We really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Cheers.